Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. We are carrying on from Monday's video, only we are taking it up a big notch. We are going with a huge platter. If you missed Monday's video, I'll link it here. But I am using every colour in the boho range from Homeware Design Co. Now there are a couple of colours I don't have, and that's like the pinks in the range. But these colours are stunning. I've used a couple of them before, but there are a couple I've never tried, like the Seafoam. Looking forward to that one. Now, I decided I'm actually gonna kind of stick to the same theme because, you know, I'm obsessed and I don't mean to do two of the same videos back to back, but you know, when I fall in love with something, I just have to try it until I get it out of my system. But I also decided to put this Eco Pour to the test. This is the Eco Pour by Just For You Online. This is the Just Add Water. Now it does say you have a 10 to 15 minute window work time, and I figured, well, let's just mix a whole heap of colours and actually put this to the test. So I did end up going with 7 different colours, and you could see me there just pouring the Eco Pour into all of the individual containers. Now, these are just little food containers and they come in so handy when you're doing lots of little bits like this, and they're washable and all is good. Look at these colours. They're so boho, exactly as they say they are on the website. But yes, everything will be linked below, including the Eco Pour from Just For You Online. They've given you all a 15% discount if you like what you see. Also, I will link Homeware Design code down below. As you all know, she did send me the pigments to try out with no obligation, and of course they are now my go-to pigments because I fell totally in love with them and I can't ever imagine using anything else. So yeah, I will link Homeware below as well. Now these are the same rubber stamps you would have seen me use. I'll be honest guys, I did fill up my Amazon basket full of rubber stamps. So many of you have told me to check out Temu. I've never checked it out. I am in shock at the amount of stamps they've got, so I might just put an order in with Temu as well and see what I can get. Now, you saw me there add ink to the stamps. My brain was saying, you know, just maybe, the Eco Pour will pick up that ink from the stamps, and then we've got even more detail inside. Sadly, it didn't. You could go back in afterwards and stamp your design in with your ink. Of course, that's something I could have done, but decided not to. Here I am. We are back to the no rules, kind of throwing it all in technique. However, I did go a little bit gentle here. I didn't just go completely no rules. There's always a method in my head. I'm thinking a bit of this here and a bit of this here. I want the colours to be kind of evenly spread out in some way. I don't just, you know, no rules, but there are a little bit of rules. Does that make any sense? I'm not putting too much thought into the patterns I'm creating, more so where I'm putting the colour, if that makes sense. I don't want too much of one colour in one place. Also, there's a reason the lines that I use with the squeezy bottle, I kind of do like to create some dividing patterns in these, because what I don't want is just a plate full of splodges, if you like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love that design as well, but I think adding the lines in there just gives it something else to look at. But these colors, I honestly, at one point I was like, wait, is that the Zen, is that the Seafoam, or is that so yeah, honestly I have to go back and kind of look at what I mixed. I know that this is the Peacock because wow, this is the colour I used in the last video and I fell truly in love with it. Again, a lot of these colours, I have to go kind of back and see what I've mixed up and see what they are. But I'm pretty sure this is the Apricot. Don't quote me on it. Yeah, again, just placing it where I felt like placing it and creating some contrast in lines and dollops and splodges and like I say, guys, if this is something you are interested in, I would fully recommend just being. Just let it be, put it where you want to put it, lay it down where you want to lay it down, either in dots, lines, splashes, splodges, splatters, whatever way, because this again to me is a pure like trust the process kind of thing. Okay, yeah, now I realise that this is the apricot. This is the apricot going down now, and this is such a beautiful colour. The apricot next to those greens, it's definitely giving me boho, and it's definitely giving me all of the vibes. But guys, I'm going to speed this up for you now. I don't want to miss anything out, so I'm going to speed this up and put on a little bit of tranquil music just to save me talking for the next 2 minutes. This is what it looks like when finished. It does look like something you might find in a swamp, but this is a trust the process kind of project. I'm telling you, it just always works out if you like colour and abstract. Now, they did definitely go down a tone in shade, like the brightness dulled a little bit. This is what it looks like when it's fully dry. This is about 30 to 40 minutes later. I'm ready to pour the backing colour. I decided to pour the backing colour with like a mixture of apricot and latte, and I'll be honest, like I didn't make enough. There's never enough. This tray is actually huge. This is a 27cm plate that I actually got from AliExpress a couple of years ago when I first started Jesmonite. So this is an AliExpress find. I did not find this from Amazon. But yeah, here we are. This is an hour and a half later and demold, and I love it so much. It's definitely giving me boho. It's definitely giving me all of this kind of modern wallpaper, really, really free and beautiful abstract. Now, of course, the ink did not work. This ink is permanent, so it practically stuck to the rubber stamp and did not come off in the eco pour, and I'm pretty sure that would be exactly the same for Jesmonite as well. Jesmonite is another one that doesn't really pick up on colours. It does pick up mica sometimes, but again, similar thing here. First thing I notice is because I added so many layers, I added so many lines, splodges, dollops, you name it, I splashed it all in there. There's a lot of overlap. Like here you can see so many areas that badly need a sand. So that is what we're going to do. I cleaned off my surface, put my plate down, poured some water into the plate, and then it was time to give it a solid once over. Now I am using quite a high grit here. This is 1200, yeah, 1200 grit wet dry sandpaper. The reason I'm going with such a high grit is because anything lower than maybe 600 is going to leave marks. It might potentially leave scratches. So yeah, I like to just go straight in with a high grit. And actually this Eco Pour from Just For You Online is super easy to sand. Like, it sands so easily, and that's possibly because there is a huge water content in that product and I'm using water to sand. So be careful. Just be careful. I was worried that I might take away too much or that it might just dissolve the whole piece. But again, sped it up for you so that you don't have to sit through that in real time. And this is what it looks like after sanding. It's a lot neater, a lot cleaner. And again, you still see some overlap here. I'm okay with that. Handmade, remember. And I have opened up some air pockets, which is very similar to what happens with the Jesmonite. Look at this colour. These three colours together give me actual life. They're like, it's like a navy blue, the peacock, and like a mustard. Just beautiful. Okay, it is time, guys. Look away now if you do not want to see the stamping. We are going to stamp the life out of this platter, because that is what I fell in love with from Monday's video. I knew immediately after I'd done that I needed to do it bigger. I needed to do it on a much bigger, flatter scale, giving me a lot more creative freedom, that I would just be able to go wild. See what my version of going wild what's become of my life. My version of going wild is having absolute freedom over how many leaves I stamp on a flat platter. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so again, I have sped this little bit up for you. I'm going to talk about the work time. Now, from start to finish, this tray took me 15 minutes to add all of the colours from all of the pots. I didn't let a single drop go to waste. You saw as I was laying the pattern down, when I put the music on, from when I started to when I used the very last drop of that Eco Pour was 15 minutes. And at that point, it was still workable. Now, when it kind of got thick, when it got really thick, I did use my lollipop stick to kind of smudge it and squish it on the inside edge of that lip, and scrape it against the mould to get it off. But again, 15 minutes allowed me to create all of the patterns, all of the textured, all of it. You know, that's a good amount of work time. I will let you know one thing. I don't know what happened, if it was that I was too, I put too much weight on it when I demolded, but at the edge of the rim, one of the edges of the rims fell off in my hand. So I don't know if it was a weak point. I don't know if it was where two pieces of Eco Pour kind of joined but didn't bond. That is definitely something I want to look at. As I was kind of going around sanding it, I don't know if I caught it on camera, I'm not sure I did, but literally a chunk of that rim fell off in my hand. Now, I did glue it back on with super glue, and very much like Jesmonite, worked a dream. Absolutely worked a dream. Just using standard super glue to glue it back on, and there was no issue. But I thought I'd let you know that I really do need to look at whether or not that was a bonding issue, or whether that was me just being too rough on demold. Anyway, guys, oh my gosh, I cannot stop. I got so much support from Monday's video saying, wow, more is definitely more. I think I got a couple of comments on Instagram saying, yeah, too many stamps. Too many stamps. You should have stopped right there. But you know what? Sometimes you just fall in love with something and it's okay. It's okay if it's not everybody's cup of tea. Because you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I know that. And I was okay with that. So yeah, here we are. I decided to do another Tony. So Tony, like I shouted out, Tony, guys, you are amazing. You all got her to 10k. On Monday, she not only hit 10k, but went like 50 over 10k. So thank you so much if you've gone and showed support to Crafty by Tony over on YouTube. She does a lot of work with stamps. So here I am doing another Tony technique. I don't know if she created it, but this is what I learned from her channel. I've taken the stamps off of the acrylic blocks. They are so much easier to use when you just want to get into these little areas, into these little nooks and crannies. You only want part of the stamp, not all of the stamp, and you just want to fill gaps that you feel need filling. Yeah, I've taken it off of the acrylic block and I find it so much easier to use around these areas that just will not work with the acrylic block. Again, guys, I know this is not new information to most of you, but I'm not a stamper. I don't do this. So again, I just found this as a helpful tip if you are, like me, not a seasoned stamper and you're working out how to get your stamps into all of the little areas. Do it by hand and just stamp certain... Guys, look at this. I'm so obsessed. I can't even cope. I love it. Now, the one thing I didn't do with this is I didn't go around the outside edge like I did on Monday's video. You can't really see the outside edge on this one. It's definitely kind of like an underlip, so I didn't bother too much. But yeah, here it is. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the colours. Let me know what you think of the stamping. I hope you love it as much as I do. This is giving me absolute energy. I feel a lot of... Gosh, I'm getting really deep lately, guys. What is that all about? I don't know. I feel a lot of like almost meditation energy from this. Very, very boho, very zen. Very, very beautiful. Okay, we're gonna seal. This is actually 2 days later because I cracked on with other things, like trying to get better from being sick. This is 2 days later. I didn't show the sealing process in the first video, but I am using the Jesmonite acrylic sealer. It worked a dream on the tray from Monday, and I knew it gave me kind of confidence to use it here. But here is a close-up. Not a smudge. Not a single smudge on that permanent stays on ink. It worked a dream. And that is it. I mean, you know, EcoPore from Just For You Online does say you can use any acrylic sealer. I do use the Jesmonite acrylic sealer. I've also used, and I love, by the way, the Elechem sealers. I do have the Resin 8 sealer. I haven't tried it yet. Not sure if we're going to be able to buy that again anyway, so I might not show that in a video. But yeah, that is it. 2 coats of the Jesmonite sealer. The first coat has to be diluted with water. So 20% water to 80% Jesmonite acrylic. Put it in a little mixing bottle. That's your first coat. Second coat has to be neat Jesmonite acrylic sealer. So my 2 coats are done, and I will say one thing, those colours are so much more vibrant now they've been sealed. And that is one thing I have noticed, is that sealing this EcoPore, I can't say the same for Jesmonite. I don't know what it is, but I definitely can't say the same. Here, after sealing, it just brings all of those colours back to full vibrancy. I love it so much. Give me all of your descriptive words in the comment section down below. I massively appreciate you if you're still here. We're nearly 20 minutes in, guys. 20 minutes in. I really hope you didn't mind me putting that little bit of calming Zen music in on the video. I really didn't feel like I needed to talk my way through all of the dollops and the splodges, but I hope you appreciate that too. But yeah, I've absolutely loved doing this. Now, so many of you have asked, I say so many. We say that, don't we? Probably about 7. 7 of you have asked about using this with epoxy resin. Now, I do hope to try that one day soon, kind of doing like a half and a half tray using the EcoPort with resin. See how that works out as well. I've also had the most incredible advice from one of my friends here on Instagram, and Sarah, who gave me an amazing idea to try. Cannot wait to show you guys that as well. She's been doing it. I've never heard of it, but that is a brand new idea to me that I'm going to be trying very, very shortly. I want to show you guys as well. But yeah, Sarah's the one that told me about that. So thank you to Sarah. That's going to be in an upcoming video. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. I cannot get over it. I just can't. It's one of those things that, like, I know other people like it, but I know other people really don't like this. But it's one of those things that I could just sit and stare at for hours. Anyway, I appreciate you all. I'm going to stop talking. If you have not already, hit that like button. If you are here in the live chat, thank you. I appreciate you massively. Seriously, appreciate you guys so, so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.